The moment I lost my husband, time stopped. The world kept spinning. People kept walking. The sun had the audacity to rise the next morning. But for me, everything froze in place. I still remember the exact sound of the phone ringing, the chill in the doctor's voice, the sterile air in that hospital hallway when I saw him under that white sheet. My knees hit the floor before my mind could understand what was happening. The man who made me laugh every morning, who held me through every storm, was gone.
I didn't speak.
I couldn't. I went home to our little house and sat on the couch we picked out together. It still smelled like him. The coffee mug he used was still on the table. His shoes were by the door, like he might walk in at any second. That first night, I laid in our bed and wrapped myself in his hoodie, trying to remember the sound of his heartbeat. But just when I thought I had reached the bottom of my grief, life dug even deeper. 2 days after his funeral, while the flowers on his grave were still fresh, his family showed up. No tears. No condolences. Just cold faces and sharper words. His mother walked in without knocking, eyes scanning the living room like it was a store, not a home. "We're here to settle everything," she said, like I was just some tenant overstaying her welcome. Behind her were his sisters, whispering, smirking, already deciding what belonged to who. One of them looked me dead in the eyes and said, "You should start packing. This isn't your home anymore." I thought I misheard. I really did, because I was his wife. We had built this life together. Every corner of that house had a memory. Our first argument, our late-night dance parties, the time we painted the bedroom and ended up with more paint on each other than the walls. But to them, I was invisible. "It's in his name," his mother snapped. "That makes it ours now. Blood before marriage." I tried to speak, but nothing came out. My throat was too tight. They walked through the house like they already owned it, pulling photo frames off walls, arguing over who would take the couch. His younger sister even asked if she could have the car. I felt like a ghost watching strangers ransack my life. And when I didn't move fast enough, they started packing my clothes themselves, dumping drawers, tossing shoes in bags like I was just some squatter they were evicting. I left that house that night with 2 bags and a heartbeat that barely worked. I walked away from everything we built, not because I had no fight left, but because I knew the battle was coming. What they didn't know, and what I didn't tell them, was that 6 months before my husband died, we had updated his will. Every asset, every right, every single item was legally left to me. We did it together, at the kitchen table, laughing about how paranoid it made us feel. But it wasn't paranoia. It was preparation. And while they were busy gloating, I was grieving, but I was also planning. I crashed on my best friend's couch for a month, silently healing and holding onto the will like a shield. Every night I read it. Every word reminded me that my husband hadn't just loved me, he trusted me to carry on everything we built. And when I finally stood up from that couch, I wasn't the broken widow they threw out. I was someone they didn't see coming. 47 days later, I returned to that house, not with sorrow, but with strength. I walked up the steps in silence, lawyer beside me, papers in hand. When his mother opened the door and saw me, her face twisted instantly. "You again?" she hissed. I didn't say a word. I simply handed her the will. Her hands trembled as she read it. Her voice cracked when she tried to speak. My lawyer stepped forward and read it aloud, line by line, bullet by bullet. Everything, every inch of that house belonged to me. They had 7 days to leave. They threatened. They begged. They yelled. But none of it mattered. The law was on my side. And this time, I didn't need to explain myself. I walked through every room they tried to steal, touching the walls, opening drawers, reclaiming every memory they tried to erase. And when they were gone, I stood in the living room, looked around at the dust and silence, and whispered, "We made it, baby." I took it back. But I wasn't done. I didn't just want the house anymore. Not after what they did to it. I sold it, flipped every room, cashed out, and started over somewhere new. I used the money to build something beautiful. I opened a grief foundation in his name, for widows like me, thrown into darkness by loss, then buried deeper by betrayal. I created safe spaces. I told my story. I gave strength to women who had been silenced. And the very people who once tossed me aside now had to watch from a distance as I rose higher than they ever imagined. They saw my name in interviews, saw me speak on stages, watched as the world celebrated my journey. And they couldn't do a damn thing to stop it. Because I didn't come back for revenge. I came back for redemption. I didn't yell. I didn't curse. I built. I healed. I grew into a woman they couldn't touch, couldn't break, couldn't silence. So if you're listening to this and someone has tried to erase you, if they've made you feel small, unwanted, replaceable, listen to me. You are not weak. You are not forgotten. You are not a victim. You are just getting started. Let them laugh. Let them doubt. Let them turn their backs. Because one day, you'll walk back through the doors they slammed on you, and they won't even recognize the fire standing before them. Your scars are not shame. They are armor. Your heartbreak is not your ending. It's your power. Don't fight to prove your worth. Rise so high they have no choice but to see it. I did more than survive. I became a force. And the biggest mistake they ever made wasn't kicking me out. It was thinking I'd never return. If this story touched your soul, if you felt every word, don't just scroll, like, share, and subscribe right now. Because someone out there needs this reminder. You don't need to scream for revenge. You just need to rise so loud they hear your name long after you're gone.